Predictions are this mess caused by the coronavirus could last for years to come. And that's not the worst of it. Stick around, I'll tell you more. Hey everyone, thanks for checking in. I really appreciate it. I don't know if you can tell or not, but if my hair gets any longer, I'm going to have to put it in a ponytail. So hopefully I can get to a salon pretty soon, or a barber or somewhere to get my hair cut. Well, I can't believe how fast this world is turning and the dire situation we are all in. Absolutely terrible. Things are changing by the minute, and I truly mean by the minute. The coronavirus panic continues, and this country is in a state of mandated hibernation, costing its citizens an untold amount of pain and suffering. So, I have several issues I want to address. The first being our laws and our law enforcement, or our constitutional rights. What has happened to common sense and people's rights? I really want to know. First, we have the hair salon owner out of Texas who opened her salon so she could support her and care for her family, and she was arrested. Then she was sentenced to 7 days in jail and a $7,000 fine. All I can think this was political, because I tell you, I have seen people arrested for worse crimes who get less of a sentence. Absolutely terrible. Has some of these law enforcement officers had a frontal lobotomy and forgot that there is a letter of the law and a spirit of the law? Who on earth would have authorized an arrest of a single mother trying to support her family? I can't imagine any of my supervisors would have ever done that. And then there's a judge who sentenced her. This truly had to be a political measure. Talking about an abuse of power. Yes, I know she was released, but it took the Supreme Court of Texas to get involved, and she still spent time in jail. That should have never happened, and apparently the case isn't over yet. It just doesn't make any sense. This woman took all precautions necessary to make sure everyone in her salon was protected. All the mandates, all the precautions of mask and everything she took. In fact, I would bet her shop was more protected than the grocery store and home improvement store I visit on a weekly basis. Heck, shopping at these stores, there is no way to stay 6 feet away or apart from someone else. So they don't have as many controls as probably she did. And what about all the products on the shelves that could be contaminated? I just don't understand. Maybe these officers and the judge should have their pay taken away for a couple months and see if their tune changes at all. I mean, it's pretty easy to do something when you're being paid, but when you're down and out, you've got kids, you need money, you're going to do what needs to be done to feed those children, as well she should. And then we have that Seattle Port police officer who voiced his opinion on our civil rights on YouTube. And you know what? He was fired, or is being fired. I guess he's been put on leave of absence, which you know what that means. Even after he was commended by his supervisors on doing it. That was until, I believe, the governor of Washington State got involved and didn't like it. And then one that really, really ticks me off. How about our top law enforcement agency in the United States, the FBI, lying and getting involved in a presidential election? Now, don't get me wrong. The FBI is a great organization and has some of the top law enforcement officers in the nation. But there are a few there that have violated the law. They have violated a law that they should be in jail for. If you and I lie to a federal officer, we go to jail. So tell me why that these individuals can get away with this and they aren't in jail. They lied to a judge in an affidavit. Why aren't they being prosecuted? Now maybe it'll come. Maybe it's down the road. I don't know. But right now, seeing what's going on in this country, all that's going on with Congress and trying to impeach our president, all the things the Democrats are doing to ruin this country. And then we have a congressman that lies, who brings forth false information, and he knew it was false information on an impeachment, yet you can't do anything to him. It's a travesty. The only thing that can be done to him is being voted out of office. And that's what needs to happen to each and every one of these individuals that are doing this to our country. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican or independent, you better start standing up, because there's some terrible things coming. And if you don't do it, you're going to be right there in the ditch. You know, right before our very eyes, our constitutional rights are being eroded. Our elected officials are taking away our rights. They are using this virus to try and fund their special projects. In fact, yesterday in Congress, I believe it was a proposed bill worth $3 trillion that will include funding for, get this, marijuana, the arts, and paying illegal aliens out of the stimulus money. Get that. And now, hear me there again. Illegal aliens will be getting money from the stimulus money. If they're here illegally, they'll still get paid. That doesn't include all the other special projects that they have been putting into these bills. And I've said before, if someone has to pay for all this debt, and guess who that is? Yep, you, me, our children and grandchildren. And how's that going to happen? Zipping up those taxes, taking away your money, or your hard-earned cash that you earned on your job. Your taxes are going to skyrocket. Whether it's fuel tax, whether it's sales tax, income tax in the state, income tax in the federal, you're going to get stuck for this. Your children are going to get stuck for this. So if we don't do something now to get this economy back, we are in big, big trouble. You know, we're in deep trouble over several fronts if this nonsense is not stopped. There is a cascade effect if this continues. The Federal Reserve is already predicting dire consequences. Not for the next few months, for the next few years, up to 10 years. Their prediction is this is going to be worse than the World War II depression. With this comes, when you have this happen, well, you have more dependency on the government for our needs. And you know what they call that, don't you? Yeah, socialism. That's what's happening. And that's exactly what the Democrats want. They want socialism. They want to control everything you do. Our country is going to be just like Russia, Venezuela, or Cuba, where you depend upon the government for whatever you need. Even if you own property, you won't own property. They'll tell you what you can do, what you can't do, where you can go, where you can't go, what you can watch, what you can't watch. Your constitutional rights will be wiped out. And don't let the smooth-talking candidates tell you they are not socialist and they don't want socialism, because that's exactly what they want. They want to take it. They want to control everything you do. They've already started this process, believe me. If you look around, they've started the process. Just look around you and see what's happened now. With just a short amount of time, we've been in this crisis. And what freedoms have been taken away. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We have governors locking down the cities, locking down communities, locking down states, taking away your rights, your freedoms. Now, don't get me wrong. I realize this virus is terrible, and we need to do something to prevent the spread of it. But we need to find that happy medium so we can get our economy back in order and everyone back to work. It's up to each of us to take the precautions necessary individually. If you're old like me, then you know you should stay away from groups and possibly wear a mask. If you feel ill, stay home. We can't allow the cure to be worse than the cause. I'm afraid we are headed for a civil uprising if something is not done, and done soon, to get our country back on track. And that would be devastating. And I hope to God that never happens. We don't need that in this country again. We've already observed protesters and protests and citizens being arrested and their rights taken away, their civil rights abused. We don't need any more of that. We are not a dumb nation. We're all smart. We know our rights. We know what needs to be done, but you're going to push people too far and it's not going to be good. I'll tell you what, if you want more information on the financial issues coming up from the Federal Reserve, from the stimulus packages, I'm going to put a link for this young man. I believe he's in his 20s, but he's a financial guru who covers all this stuff. And you may want to look at his YouTube channel and find out just what's going on, what you need to do with your money, what's going to happen. You want to think about this, what's going to happen to your money, what investments you have. If this continues down the road it is, where are your investments going? Are you going to have any investments left? What about your money in your banks? If everybody starts going bankrupt and the money's gone, what's going to happen? We're just going to print more money? Well, I'll tell you what, take a look at this guy's channel and he'll give you some information on what you need to do with your money. I'm not endorsing this guy or anything else. I'm just saying I watch him. He's got some good ideas. He's still investing. So you may want to look at it to see where you want to go with your money. But the main thing we need to do, we need to push our congressmen, our congresswomen, our president, our governors, our legislators in the states to get this country back working again, to get our rights back again, and let us get back to what we need to do. And quit looking and listening to all the talking heads. Yeah, we got some smart people out there, but we're also smart too. We know what needs to be done. So that's it. Well, that's my rant for today. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. And thanks for watching. And I'll see you again soon. God bless you.